Welcome, developers and DevOps engineers. I am your expert technical instructor. Today, we dive deep into the GH-300 certification, focusing on how to masterfully use the GitHub Copilot CLI interactively and manage active sessions for ultimate productivity. Welcome to this deep dive into the GitHub Copilot command line interface, specifically focusing on mastering interactive sessions. While the CLI can be used programmatically for headless automation, its true power as a collaborative AI pair programmer is unlocked when you launch it in interactive mode. To initiate this persistent, conversational session, you simply type Copilot in your terminal. Upon launching the CLI for the very first time in a new directory, Copilot enforces a strict security boundary by halting execution and asking, "Do you trust the files in this folder?" Because the interactive agent has the capability to read your local source code, modify files, and propose arbitrary shell scripts, you must explicitly confirm that the workspace is safe before proceeding. Once trusted, you enter a dynamic chat interface right in your terminal. Here, you can ask general questions about your software architecture or request specific terminal commands. Unlike traditional autocomplete tools, this interactive session maintains conversational context, allowing you to ask follow-up questions, request clarifications, and systematically break down complex problems. You can interact with the agent using natural language prompts to describe your goals, such as asking for a summary of a legacy script or requesting a command to find large files. Furthermore, this interactive mode operates independently from the standard GitHub CLI, although it leverages your existing GitHub authentication. Copilot CLI is a terminal-based AI agent that can answer questions, plan work, and complete tasks on your behalf. By staying within the terminal, you drastically reduce the cognitive load and context switching required when you normally leave your IDE to search for command line syntax on the web. As we progress, we will explore exactly how to dictate the behavior of this agent, manage its memory, and steer its execution to maximize velocity. This terminal snippet demonstrates the exact invocation sequence for an interactive session. Typing Copilot without any flags drops you into the persistent environment. The security guardrail immediately triggers, requiring a Y input to establish a trusted boundary. Once accepted, you are presented with the Copilot greater than prompt, ready to accept broad, natural language queries about your local project. This flowchart maps the interactive session initiation. Typing Copilot triggers a security check. Once inside an active, interactive GitHub Copilot CLI session, you govern the AI agent's behavior through a combination of natural language and explicit /commands. This is a critical distinction for the GH-300 exam. While you use natural language to describe the work you want done, /commands are the exclusive mechanism for session control and configuration. You cannot use natural language to change settings. The most common interactive workflow involves the /suggest, /explain, and /revise commands. If you need to perform a task but do not know the exact bash syntax, you type /suggest followed by your goal. Copilot will synthesize the precise shell command. If you encounter an obscure script in your repository, you can use the /explain command to receive a line-by-line breakdown of its purpose and parameters. Crucially, the interactive session is designed for iterative refinement. If the command generated by /suggest is close but not quite perfect, you do not need to start over. Instead, you use the /revise command to provide follow-up instructions, such as asking it to use a different utility like fuser instead of LSOF. The agent instantly updates the syntax. Beyond these, you can type /help to see all available commands, /theme to adjust your terminal's visual appearance, and /feedback to submit bug reports or feature requests directly to GitHub. Additionally, for broader environment control, the interactive session allows you to manage specialized capabilities. You can use the /skills command to manage agent skills, which are folders of instructions that improve performance on specialized tasks, or use /MCP to manage model context protocol server configurations. This rich ecosystem of /commands transforms your terminal from a static prompt into an intelligent workspace. Here we see the power of iterative refinement via /commands. The developer requests a complex find operation using /suggest. Upon reviewing the output, they realize the .git folder will pollute the results. By instantly executing /revise, Copilot retains the context of the previous suggestion and appends the necessary prune syntax, avoiding the need to rewrite the entire prompt. This visual outlines the /command routing within a session. The interactive session relies on commands like suggest, explain, or MCP for precise actions. Crucially, when a suggestion is generated, the developer evaluates it. An advanced capability within interactive sessions is the ability to dynamically change the underlying large language model using the /model command. Not all development tasks require the same level of cognitive reasoning. By typing /model, you open a selection menu allowing you to choose the best engine for your specific scenario based on task complexity and cost efficiency. The auto setting intelligently chooses models based on real-time system health, reducing latency. However, if you are performing a highly complex architectural refactor, investigating a subtle multi-file bug, or requiring deep system design reasoning, you should explicitly switch to Opus 4.5. Alternatively, for routine, everyday tasks where speed is paramount, Sonnet 4.5 handles the vast majority of coding effectively with lower resource usage. You can also select Codex for high-volume code generation. Furthermore, if your enterprise has configured its own LLM provider API keys, perhaps pointing to an internal Azure OpenAI endpoint via the Bring Your Own Key feature, those custom models will also appear at the bottom of this list. Alongside model management, the interactive session features rigorous tool permission guardrails. Copilot operates with a deny by default permission model. When the agent attempts to run a tool, such as a bash command, it halts and prompts you for permission. You can allow it once, allow it for the remainder of the session, or deny it entirely. This guarantees that potentially destructive operations never occur without your explicit, manual approval. A critical GH-300 exam topic involves how you interact with these permission requests. If you decide to deny a tool execution request, you can provide inline feedback upon rejection. This means you can tell the agent exactly why you denied the action and suggest an alternative approach. The agent processes this feedback and adapts its strategy immediately. This illustrates the visual menu triggered by the /model/command. Understanding which model to select is heavily tested. Use Sonnet 4.5 for speed and low cost on standard tasks, and Opus 4.5 for deep architectural planning or tracking down obscure, multi-file bugs. The auto selection is best for mitigating rate limiting by leveraging GitHub's intelligent backend routing. The diagram displays the tool permission lifecycle. When tool execution is required, the deny by default guardrail halts the agent. Beyond managing permissions, a true expert knows how to actively steer the Copilot CLI agent while it is processing complex tasks. During an interactive session, especially when Copilot is executing a multi-step plan or analyzing a large codebase, it enters a thinking or working state. However, you are not locked out during this time. You can enter a new prompt at any time to steer the conversation. Any input you send while Copilot is actively working is treated as steering feedback and is instantly considered within the context of the current task. There is no separate instruction queue. The system dynamically processes each message you send in order. This active steering capability is incredibly valuable. It allows you to interrupt the agent if you notice it heading down the wrong architectural path, saving valuable time and processing tokens. You can refine or clarify the task scope partway through execution if you realize your initial prompt was too vague. Additionally, you can enqueue additional messages to steer the conversation in a different direction, or queue up further instructions for Copilot to process immediately after it finishes its current response. This asynchronous interaction model makes the conversation feel much more natural and keeps you firmly in control of the AI's output. For the GH-300 certification, you must understand that the agent is not a black box once a prompt is submitted. It is a highly responsive, collaborative partner. Consider a scenario where you ask the CLI to implement a new feature. As it begins generating the first file, you realize you forgot to specify a specific logging library. Instead of canceling the entire operation, you simply type your new constraint. The agent seamlessly ingests this new instruction on the fly, applying your proprietary framework to the remainder of the code, maximizing developer velocity. This transcript highlights the asynchronous steering concept. The developer initiates a massive refactoring plan. While the agent is actively scanning files, the developer realizes a missing constraint and types it directly into the interface. The Copilot runtime intercepts this message, injects it into the active context stream, and dynamically pivots its ongoing task execution to adhere to the new use context mandate without requiring a full restart. This visual maps out real-time steering. The task is initiated, putting the agent into a working state. To operate the Copilot CLI efficiently over long periods, you must deeply understand context window management. Every interactive session consumes tokens. The context window holds your system instructions, tool definitions, your submitted prompts, and Copilot's responses. As the conversation progresses, this window fills up. To prevent the session from crashing due to token exhaustion, Copilot CLI employs an automatic context management system. When your conversation history reaches approximately 95% of the token limit, Copilot automatically compresses your history in the background without interrupting your workflow. This intelligent auto-compaction enables virtually infinite sessions. However, you also have manual control and visibility over this process. By executing the /context/command, Copilot displays a highly detailed visual breakdown of your current token usage. This visual explicitly shows the fixed overhead for system and tools, the space consumed by your message history, the remaining free space, and the buffer allocation that triggers compaction. If you want to proactively clear space, perhaps because you are changing topics entirely and want a clean slate without losing the session, you can manually execute the /compact command. For auditing your usage, the /usage command provides session statistics, including the amount of premium requests consumed, the session duration, total lines of code edited, and a token usage breakdown per model. The GH-300 exam will test your knowledge of these specific /commands. Remember that the system instructions and tool definitions take up a fixed, non-removable portion of the context window. As you add more external MCP servers and custom agents, this fixed overhead increases. Therefore, monitoring your available free space via the /context command becomes increasingly critical. This snippet demonstrates the diagnostic capabilities of the /context command. It reveals that the user's message history is heavily consuming the token limit. Because the free space is critically low, the user proactively executes the /compact/ command. This forces the LLM to summarize previous conversational turns into a dense paragraph, instantly reclaiming valuable token space for upcoming complex code generation tasks. The context management flowchart shows token consumption logic. As chat consumes tokens, the system monitors capacity. Finally, we must explore session persistence and analytics. Unlike simple terminal commands that vanish when the window closes, GitHub Copilot CLI persists every interactive session as a set of JSONL files in the .copilot/session state directory on your local machine. This allows you to effortlessly resume previous sessions by running copilot-continue to pick up your most recent work, or copilot-resume to open a picker of past sessions. Beyond just resuming work, Copilot CLI stores structured data in a local SQLite database, powering the highly advanced, experimental/chronicle/commands. By querying this local session store, the /chronicle command turns your terminal history into actionable insights. Executing /chronicle standup generates a formatted report summarizing exactly what branches you worked on and the pull requests you referenced over the last 24 hours. The /chronicle tips command acts as a personalized productivity coach, analyzing your prompt patterns and suggesting underutilized CLI features. Most powerfully, /chronicle improve analyzes your history to identify friction points, where Copilot misunderstood your intent, and proactively generates custom instructions for your copilot-instructions.md file to prevent those mistakes in the future. You can even ask the CLI freeform questions about your past work, such as, "Have I worked on anything related to the Payments API recently?" And Copilot will leverage full-text search across your session history. Because this SQLite database is stored entirely locally on your machine, your privacy is perfectly maintained. Mastering session persistence, context management, steering, and interactive commands elevates you to an expert AI architect. To guarantee your success on the GH-300 exam, visit quicktechie.com for comprehensive training today. This final snippet illustrates the bridge between persistence and analytics. By executing Copilot, continue, the developer restores their exact context. Inside the session, calling the experimental/chronicle improve command queries the local SQLite history. The AI detects a pattern of repeated test framework errors and intelligently suggests updating the repository's custom instructions file to permanently eliminate that specific friction point. Our final diagram shows how the local SQLite session store empowers the /chronicle suite.
Welcome to quicktechie.com. So just type in quicktechie.com here. Then you can go through the material which is provided by Quicktechie. We have first of all video courses which you can go here and you can find the various video courses across the technologies as well as finance domain. So if you see in Microsoft, we have 8 programs currently running. Next, you can go through the ebooks available. So all the ebooks which are in PDF format today, and you can download this. So let me go through Microsoft certification ebooks. You can click on any of this and you can see this is the PDF available for you to download. So these are the premium ebook mostly available on quicktechie.com platform only. Now the second part is exam simulator. As we primarily focus on the all technology companies and finance domain certification preparation material, so this is company wide listed here and you can go through this. So let me go through the Microsoft one again. You can see this is all Microsoft related certification. AB 730 exam, if you open it, so you can see here this, and all the practice papers are available here. Today we have a 5 practice paper. So click on the first practice paper. It would load the questions. You can answer this question. This is way you can answer it and you can move to the next question. Now third material we wanted to highlight is an audiobook. So we started recently with the audiobooks as well, which you can listen on the go, and various technology wise ebooks are available. And at the last, this is our alumni. These people who are subscribing to our courses and this platform, they are all listed here. And at the end, I wanted to tell you, if you find any course or training or certification preparation material which you want to get us prepare for yourself, please put on the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, on Udemy, or on this platform itself, quicktechie.com, then please put the comment, or you can even send an email to using this contact us options here. You can directly do the WhatsApp message. You can call us on this numbers as well.